pop filters might not be the most fun thing to hear about or even to talk about, but for some people they can be absolutely necessary and extremely important. So there is one pop filter in particular that does get a lot of love, but that pop filter is the Hakan P110. But the thing that most people don't like about it is that it costs $100. I've been using the Hakan P110 for a couple years now. It was actually gifted to me, and I've got to say, it has been my favorite pop filter. But there's been some talk recently, some rumors per se, that actually the material that comes with the Hakan P110 is essentially an aquarium filter. Yeah, a pop filter, fish filter. So I did some research and found some aquarium filter foam that essentially fits the exact same specs and width as the Hakan P110. But when you order that aquarium filter, it comes with 6 sheets of it for like $7. But then it comes in the mail looking like this. You either take it out of the package and let it expand for 48 hours, or I think you can rinse it and then let it dry for 24 hours or something like that. But from this point, what I did is I just cut a circle out of one of these sheets so it'll fit in the Hakan P110 little holder. And that's how I'm going to compare the aquarium filter to the Hakan P110. But wait just a minute, there's one other pop filter we need to talk about. And that pop filter is the new Proar Pop filter that looks eerily similar to the Hakan P110. Now this pop filter comes in around $22 to $25, but when I bought it roughly a month ago, it was only $17 at the time, so they are raising the price a little bit. So we're going to throw this into the comparison also. Now with pop filters, not only do you want them to reject P and B noise as well, but you also want them to be transparent. That way they're not coloring the tone of the microphone. Now there are a lot of other great pop filters out there, and actually I have quite a few pop filters. If you'd be interested in me doing like a pop filter shootout, let me know. For this video, I just kind of wanted to see if the aquarium foam filter would actually work. Now I will show some macro imagery of these different pop filters and really analyze them and show them to you so you can see if the material does look identical. I will say when I touch each of these pop filters, the aquarium filter and the Proar feel nearly identical. I'd say they're basically identical. However, the Hakan does have a softer, little bit nicer touch to it. You know, like a little more comfy feeling. I'm not sure if Hakan actually manufactures and makes their own material or if they just get a certain kind of aquarium filter. I don't know, but we'll see how much of a difference these all have. But since this is just a quick comparison, let's go ahead and start putting these up against each other. The microphone that I chose to use is the LA220 version 2 from Lauten Audio. I feel like it has a good wide frequency range where you can hear the top end and hear if maybe these pop filters aren't completely transparent or sound different from one another. And also it's not great at rejecting plosives. I may throw an additional microphone in here just to be as thorough as possible. But first what I want to do is give you a sample of this microphone. This is with me pointing my air a little bit past the microphone. This microphone is angled so my air isn't going directly into it. Before this first test, I'm just going to have it be a blind test. I'm just going to show pop filter 1, 2, and 3. But this first test, I will have the pop filter 3 inches from the microphone, and I will be 3 inches from the pop filter. Currently, I am 6 inches away from this microphone. Before this, I will speak directly into the microphone, but here are just some quick plosives going into the LA220, Peter Pan, Peter Parker, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Here's the first pop filter in this blind comparison. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now here is the second pop filter in this blind comparison. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now we have the third pop filter in this blind comparison. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. I'm going to put the plosive test for each of these pop filters just one after the other so you can hear it a little bit better. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso. Now, did you notice any differences in these pop filters? Now I'll give you the big reveal. The first pop filter was the aquarium filter. The second was the Proar, and the third was the Hakan. Now I am back on the Hakan P110, and I will say, when it comes to build quality, the Hakan is so much better than the Proar Pop filter. I mean, I would hope it is because it is essentially 4 times more expensive. But this gooseneck is absolutely fantastic. It will stay in any position you put it in, just great. Now I have the Proar Pop filter in, and I will say the gooseneck on that, for being 4 times less than the Hakan, is noticeably worse. It's honestly kind of a hard gooseneck to maneuver around. It's not great, but it's absolutely usable, and at its price point, it's really not bad. Now I'm using the Aquarium filter, the fish filter as I like to call it, but that is the one downfall of this one is yes, you can get 6 sheets for really cheap of this, but then you do have to find a way to make it work and mount it in front of your microphone. Not a super big deal. You can definitely rig it up. There are people that have been doing that with nylon pop filters for a long time. So it is definitely doable, and in a situation where maybe a lot of people use your pop filters, it could be nice just to buy the Proar, have the gooseneck and the holder, and then just get the fish filters as replacements if they ever get gross. It's like a $32 investment that would last you quite a while. But to take it one step further, let's get a little bit closer to the microphone and the pop filter and see how they do. Right now I'm about 3.5 inches from the microphone, and I understand this is really close, but some people like to get the proximity effect, get that big voiceover-y sound. But let's just see how these pop filters do in this situation. Here's the first pop filter, the Aquarium filter, when I'm 3.5 inches away from the microphone, and the pop filter sitting right in the middle of that. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now I have the Hakan P110 directly in between me and the microphone when I'm 3.5 inches away. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now once again I am 3.5 inches from the microphone with the pop filter in between. This is the Proar Pop filter. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso. Now just as an additional test, we'll test this with the SM7B. I'll be 4 inches away from the capsule, and without a pop filter on, here's how the SM7B sounds when I talk directly into it. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now we have the Hakan P110 pop filter in front of the SM7B. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now we have the Aquarium foam filter in front of the SM7B. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now we have the Proar Pop filter in front of the SM7B. Peter Parker, Peter Pan, Picasso, Planters, Peanuts. Now, while I tell you my opinion, I am going to still switch the pop filters so you can hear these even more. I am currently using the Hakan, and this is the Sennheiser MKH50. I wanted to use a small diaphragm condenser microphone because they don't handle plosives well. I will say a lot of situations I probably wouldn't have it this close, but I am currently 6 inches away from the microphone, and the pop filter is exactly in the middle. I'm not going to announce when I switch pop filters. I will just have it labeled in the lower third, so just pay attention to that. Now, I've got to say I was pleasantly surprised by the performance of the Aquarium filter. A big part of me thought that it wasn't going to work. I don't know why I felt that way. I guess I just hoped that the Hakan was going to be worth the money. But let me get that straight. I'm not saying it's not worth the money. I do feel like the Hakan works really well. I think the Proar works well, and I actually think the Aquarium filter works well. And that's what I want to focus on, is all of these do work, which is really cool. I don't know if it's my brain playing tricks on me, or if it's just like bias or hope. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like the Hakan is a little bit more transparent. I will say I don't feel like the Hakan is worth 4 times more than these other options, or even more than 4 times more when it comes to the Aquarium fish filter. But bottom line, does the Proar and the fish filter hold its own against the Hakan? Yes. I do hope that they can keep the price down on the Proar Pop filter, because I do feel like that is a good option. If you do like rotating pop filters quite often to avoid little germsies, then like I mentioned before, maybe getting the Proar and replacing it with the Aquarium filters could work. But as per usual, I'm just going to leave it up to you. What do you think? I'd love to hear what you thought of this comparison. If you think that these are as good as each other, or if you think the Hakan is better, worse. I do want to give a big thank you to all the subscribers out there, and the biggest thank you to all the Audio Hotline members. I hope that this video helped you out and helped you decide which route you want to take with these. But once again, thank you all for watching the Audio Hotline. I'll see you audio nerds next time.